In a galaxy far from Earth, a great meeting was taking place. The Galactic Council, made up of many different alien species, gathered in a huge room filled with bright lights and strange sounds. Each alien looked very different. Some had green skin, others had tentacles, and a few even had wings. They all had one thing in common. They thought they were the best. At the center of the room stood a large table made of shimmering crystal. The council members were discussing a new target for their next conquest. The leader of the council, a tall alien with blue skin named Zorath, began to speak. "Humans," he declared, his voice booming. "They are weak and primitive. Their weapons are nothing but toys." The other aliens laughed. Their laughter echoed through the chamber, filling the air with mockery. Zorath continued, "Look at their guns and bombs. They have not even mastered advanced technology. How can they possibly challenge us?" A small alien with bright yellow eyes and a long snout named Glick chimed in. "I saw a human video!" They were shooting at each other with loud bang sticks. How silly. The council erupted in laughter again. They pointed at screens showing humans training with their firearms, trying to mimic the skill of the soldiers from their own advanced worlds. But the aliens did not see the strength in the humans' determination. They only saw what they wanted to see. Meanwhile, on Earth, a young soldier named Alex was sitting in a military base. He was scrolling through his tablet, trying to relax before the big training session. Suddenly, a notification popped up on the screen. It was a live stream of the Galactic Council meeting. Curiosity sparked in Alex's mind as he tapped the screen. He could hardly believe his eyes. There were the aliens, laughing at humans and calling their weapons old-fashioned. Alex felt a wave of anger wash over him. How dare they mock humanity? He continued to watch, his fists clenching. "They have no idea what we are capable of," he muttered under his breath. He remembered the countless hours of training he and his fellow soldiers had put in, learning to use their weapons effectively and thinking strategically. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, Zorath and the other aliens were making plans. "Let us teach these humans a lesson," Zorath said with a wicked smile. "We will invade their planet and crush them easily." The aliens cheered, confident in their superiority. They started to prepare their ships for the journey to Earth. They believed that this would be a simple task, a quick victory to add to their list of conquests. As the council meeting ended, Alex was still watching. He felt a fire burning inside him. "I can't let them do this," he thought. He rushed to the base commander to share what he had seen. "Commander, we need to prepare! The aliens are planning to invade," he exclaimed. The commander, a tall and stern man with years of experience, looked at Alex seriously. "We've been preparing for an alien invasion for years, but no one expected it would be now." "I saw them laughing at us," Alex continued. "They think we're weak, but we have to show them they're wrong. We need to be ready." The commander nodded slowly. "All right, gather your unit. We'll hold a meeting and discuss our defense strategy." As the soldiers gathered, Alex shared what he had seen. "They underestimate us. We might not have the most advanced technology, but we have heart and courage. We can't let them laugh at us anymore." The soldiers nodded in agreement. They felt inspired by Alex's passion. They began to prepare their weapons, checking everything twice. They knew they had to defend their home. Meanwhile, in space, the alien ships were getting ready for the invasion. Zorath and his team were in control of the main ship, a massive vessel that gleamed with silver and blue. The aliens filled the ship, excited for their journey to Earth. "Prepare the weapons," Zorath commanded. "We will show these humans the true power of the Galactic Council." The ship's crew moved quickly, loading their advanced weapons and powering up the ship's engines. They were confident that this would be an easy mission. They thought they could scare the humans into submission. Back on Earth, the mood was different. The soldiers were focused, checking their weapons and gathering supplies. Alex was leading a training session, showing his fellow soldiers how to use their weapons creatively. "Remember, it's not just about having the best weapons," he told them. "It's about using what we have wisely. We have to think on our feet." The soldiers practiced drills, moving swiftly and working together as a team. They understood that they had to be ready for anything. The world outside felt tense, as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting for the storm to come. As night fell, the first alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere. The sky lit up with bright lights as the ships descended. The aliens were ready for battle, thinking victory was near. Alex and his unit were alerted. "They're here!" someone shouted, and everyone rushed to their positions. They could see the ships in the sky, huge and menacing. "Stay calm!" Alex shouted. "Remember your training. We can do this!" The soldiers took their positions, ready to defend their home. The aliens landed, and Zorath stepped out of his ship, looking around with confidence. "This is going to be easy," he said to his crew, who laughed with him. But as the aliens advanced, they were met with resistance. Humans emerged from behind trees and buildings, armed with their primitive weapons, ready to fight for their planet. "Look at them," one alien said, surprised. "They're not backing down," Zorath frowned. He had expected the humans to flee in fear, but they stood their ground, determination written on their faces. They weren't just soldiers. They were people fighting for their homes, families, and futures. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. He raised his weapon and shouted, "For Earth!" The humans began to fight back. The battle started with a loud bang as they fired their weapons, and the aliens were taken aback. This was not the easy victory they had imagined. The aliens quickly realized that humans were not as weak as they thought. The primitive weapons turned out to be effective in skilled hands. Humans moved with surprising agility, working together to defend their territory. As the fight continued, the aliens began to panic. They had come to Earth thinking they would crush the humans, but instead they were met with fierce resistance. The laughter from the council meeting felt far away now, replaced by the sound of gunfire and determination. Back in space, the council was watching the battle unfold on screens. They were shocked to see humans fighting back with courage and creativity. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Zorath clenched his fists in anger. "How is this possible?" he shouted. "They should be cowering in fear." But the humans were not backing down. They fought with everything they had, proving that they were much more than their primitive weapons. As the battle raged on, Alex found himself in the heat of the fight. He moved through the chaos, working alongside his fellow soldiers. Each victory fueled their determination, and they began to turn the tide against the alien forces. The laughter that once filled the council chamber was now replaced by fear and confusion. The aliens were learning that humans were not to be underestimated. As the day went on, the humans stood strong, ready to face whatever came next. And so the story of their fight began. It was not just a battle for survival, it was a battle for respect, a chance to show the galaxy that humans were anything but primitive. As dawn broke over Earth, the sun shone brightly, but the sky was filled with the dark shapes of alien ships. They hovered ominously above cities, casting long shadows on the ground. People were waking up to the sounds of chaos. The invasion had begun. In a military base just outside a small town, Alex and his fellow soldiers were gearing up. The atmosphere was tense. They could hear distant explosions and the thundering of alien ships overhead. Alex knew they had to act quickly. "Gather around!" Alex called to his team, his voice steady despite the fear that buzzed in the air. "We have to defend our home. We know they underestimate us, but we can't let that stop us. We have to show them what humans are made of." The soldiers nodded, their faces set with determination. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could truly prepare them for the reality of war. Each soldier checked their weapons, loading ammunition and ensuring everything was ready. Alex looked at his team. There was Sarah, a sharpshooter with quick reflexes, Mike, a strong fighter with a kind heart, and Lisa, who was a whiz with technology. Together they were a solid unit, and Alex believed in their strength. "Let's move out!" he shouted, leading the way as they rushed out of the base. They had received reports of alien troops landing nearby, and they needed to get to the front lines. As they approached the area, they saw the destruction that had already taken place. Buildings were in ruins, and debris was scattered everywhere. People ran in fear, trying to find safety. Alex's heart sank at the sight. He knew they had to protect the innocent and fight for their future. The sound of gunfire echoed in the distance. The team reached a hill overlooking a battlefield. They saw alien soldiers pouring out of their ships, advanced weapons in hand. The aliens were confident, moving as if they owned the place. But as they got closer, Alex saw the fear in some of their eyes. They were not as invincible as they thought. Set up here, Alex commanded, pointing to a spot where they could have a clear view. The soldiers quickly took their positions, preparing to defend their territory. Remember, aim for the weak spots, Alex instructed. We may not have fancy technology, but we have our brains and teamwork. Sarah took a deep breath and focused her scope on the nearest alien soldier. I see them. They're moving in groups. If we can pick them off one by one, we can cause chaos in their ranks. Good thinking, Alex replied. On my mark, let's take out the first one. The team got into position, and Alex raised his hand. 3, 2, 1, fire! The sound of gunfire rang out, and the first alien soldier went down. The remaining aliens looked around in confusion, startled by the sudden attack. Alex could see their confidence begin to waver. Keep it going, he shouted. Don't let them regroup. The humans fired again, and the aliens scrambled for cover. Some of them started to return fire, but their shots went wide. The humans were using their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage, moving quickly and staying hidden. Let's flank them, Alex suggested. We can catch them off guard. The team nodded and quickly moved to the side, circling around the alien troops. As they got closer, Alex could see the aliens' advanced technology. They had energy weapons that fired bright blasts of light, but the humans were clever. They used the environment to shield themselves, ducking behind rocks and trees. Suddenly, Mike shouted, "Look out!" An alien soldier spotted them and fired. Alex ducked just in time, the blast hitting a tree and splintering it apart. "Stay low!" Alex yelled. "We need to push through!" They pressed on, fighting their way through the chaos. With every alien they took down, the humans gained confidence. They were proving that they could hold their ground. After what felt like hours of fighting, they managed to reach the aliens' main landing zone. Alex could see more ships arriving, bringing fresh waves of alien soldiers. This was just the beginning. We have to stop them from bringing in more troops, Lisa shouted, her eyes darting around. If we can take out their landing pads, we can slow them down. Great idea, Alex replied. Let's make our way to the landing pads. Sarah, you take the high ground and cover us. The rest of us will push forward. Sarah nodded, quickly finding a spot on a nearby hill where she could have a clear shot. Alex and the others moved forward, keeping low to avoid being seen. The sounds of battle echoed around them, but their focus was clear. As they reached the landing pads, they saw groups of aliens busy unloading weapons and supplies. "This is it," Alex whispered. "On my signal, we take them out." He raised his hand again, counting down silently. When he reached one, they charged forward, surprising the aliens. The humans fired their weapons with precision, and the aliens were caught off guard. "Get to the explosives!" Alex shouted, pointing to a stack of grenades and other weapons. "We need to blow these up." Lisa quickly grabbed a grenade and tossed it towards a group of aliens. The explosion sent them flying, and chaos erupted. The aliens were panicking, not expecting such a fierce counterattack. "Keep pushing," Alex yelled. "We can't let them regroup." The team fought bravely, working together to take down more alien soldiers. The tide of the battle was starting to turn. The humans were showing that they were not to be taken lightly, but then the aliens began to fight back harder. They had regrouped and were now coming at the humans with even more force. Zorath, the alien leader, was watching from his ship, growing furious at the sight of his soldiers being defeated. "This cannot be happening," he shouted to his commanders. "We are the Galactic Council. We will not be beaten by these primitive creatures." Zorath ordered a full assault on the humans. More alien ships descended, and the sky darkened with their numbers. Alex and his team could see the reinforcements arriving, and fear crept into their hearts. "We need to fall back," Mike shouted, looking around at the increasing enemy forces. "There are too many of them." "No," Alex replied, determination in his voice. "We can't give up now. We've come too far." But just as he finished speaking, a massive blast hit the ground near them, sending everyone flying. Dust and debris filled the air, and Alex struggled to get up. He looked around to see that some of his team were injured. "Are you okay?" he shouted, reaching out to help Sarah, who was trying to stand. "I think so," she replied, wincing in pain. "But we need to move." Alex nodded, adrenaline pumping through his veins. "Fall back to the trees. We can regroup there." The team hurried to escape the oncoming fire, racing towards the safety of the trees. The sounds of battle were everywhere, gunfire, explosions, and the cries of soldiers mixed together. Once behind the cover of the trees, they took a moment to catch their breath. Alex looked at his team, assessing their injuries. They were all shaken but alive. "We need a new plan," Alex said, his voice firm. "We can't fight them head-on anymore. They have too many reinforcements." Lisa, catching her breath, added, "What if we use the element of surprise again? We can set traps and ambush them when they least expect it." "I like that idea," Mike agreed. "We can use our knowledge of the area to our advantage." Alex nodded, feeling a spark of hope. "Let's set up some traps and lure them in. We'll show them that we are not just fighting with weapons, but with our wits, too." The team quickly got to work, using everything they had. They dug holes, set up explosives, and created diversions to lead the aliens into their traps. With every step, they felt more determined. They were fighting for their home, their families, and their future. As night fell, the aliens continued to search for the humans, unaware of the traps waiting for them. The humans waited silently, hiding among the trees, hearts racing with anticipation. "Here they come," Sarah whispered, her eyes fixed on the approaching alien soldiers. Alex held his breath, ready to spring into action. They had a chance to turn the tide of the battle once more. "Now!" he shouted, and the team sprang into action. The traps were triggered, explosions went off, and chaos erupted among the aliens. The humans charged out of the shadows, taking advantage of the confusion. The tide was turning again, and this time, they would not let it slip away. As night enveloped the battlefield, the air was thick with tension. The sounds of the day's fight faded, replaced by the chirping of distant crickets. Alex and his team, hidden among the trees, were ready. They had spent hours setting traps and preparing for the alien forces, and now it was time to act. "Everyone in position?" Alex whispered, his heart pounding. The darkness provided cover, but it also heightened the uncertainty. He peered through the trees, spotting the distant glow of alien lights moving closer. "Yes!" came the soft replies from his team. Sarah, Mike, Lisa, and the rest were focused and alert. They had faced fear together, and now they were united in purpose. As the aliens approached, their voices could be heard, boasting about their superiority. Zorath, the alien leader, was among them, barking orders to his troops. "Find them! They must pay for their insolence." His voice was filled with anger and pride, believing they would crush the humans easily. "They think they're invincible," Sarah said. Her eyes narrowed. "They have no idea what's coming." "Stay quiet," Alex replied, holding up his hand. He knew they needed to be patient. The element of surprise was their greatest weapon. The aliens drew nearer, their confidence on full display. They walked in groups, laughing and taunting. Alex felt a rush of anger at their arrogance. They were underestimating humanity, and he was determined to prove them wrong. "Now!" Alex shouted, and with that command, his team sprang into action. They leaped from their hiding places, yelling and firing their weapons. The bright flashes of gunfire lit up the darkness, catching the aliens off guard. The first wave of humans hit hard. Mike charged at the nearest alien, tackling it to the ground. Lisa threw a grenade into a group of alien soldiers, and the explosion sent them flying. Sarah, perched on a high branch, took down 2 aliens with precise shots. The element of surprise was working. The aliens were thrown into chaos, their shouts of confusion echoing through the night. Alex could see fear creeping into their eyes as they realized they were not facing helpless beings, but determined warriors. "Keep pushing," Alex yelled, his adrenaline pumping. They had to capitalize on this moment. The humans moved swiftly, darting between the trees, firing at the disoriented aliens. Zorath roared in fury. "Regroup! Form a defensive line!" He struggled to maintain control over his troops, but his voice was losing its power. The humans were relentless, and they were not holding back. Alex felt a surge of pride for his team. They were working together seamlessly, covering each other and adapting to the chaos around them. He had always known they had potential, but witnessing it firsthand filled him with hope. The battle raged on, and the humans kept gaining ground. They were fighting not just for survival, but for their right to exist. The aliens, once laughing at their primitive weapons, were now reeling from the surprise attack. Suddenly, an alien soldier spotted Alex and opened fire. Alex ducked behind a tree, narrowly avoiding the blast. "We need to take out their leader," he shouted to his team, realizing that if they could eliminate Zorath, it could turn the tide completely. "Where is he?" Lisa asked, scanning the chaos around them. "There!" Alex pointed to a large ship where Zorath was trying to rally his remaining forces. "If we can get to that ship, we can end this." With determination, they made their way through the melee, using the trees as cover. As they drew closer, the sound of blasters and explosions surrounded them. The chaos was intense, but the humans pressed on. "Almost there," Mike urged, ducking as an alien shot whizzed past him. The team kept moving, dodging enemy fire, and finally reached the base of the ship. "Sarah, you cover us!" Alex ordered. "The rest of us will go up." With a nod, Sarah took her position, aiming her rifle at the entrance. "I've got your back!" The others scrambled up the side of the ship using ropes and climbing gear they had prepared earlier. Zorath was still bellowing orders inside, trying to regain control. Alex could see the tension on his face. Once they reached the top, Alex peered inside. The interior was filled with alien technology, glowing screens and complex machinery. "Let's move quickly," he whispered to his team. "We need to take him by surprise." They stepped into the ship, moving silently. The alien soldiers inside were distracted, focused on the ongoing battle outside. This was their moment. Suddenly, Zorath turned, sensing something was off. "What is happening?" he demanded, his voice laced with suspicion. Alex didn't hesitate. "Now!" he shouted as they lunged at Zorath. The alien leader tried to react, but Alex was faster. They tackled him, bringing him to the ground. "Get off me!" Zorath snarled, struggling against the humans. But they had the element of surprise on their side. They pinned him down, and Lisa pulled out a weapon. "Yield!" she commanded, her voice steady. "You are surrounded. You cannot win." The alien leader sneered, but he could see that his soldiers were losing outside. The humans had turned the tide, and fear was starting to creep into his mind. "Fools," Zorath spat. "You think you can defeat the Galactic Council? You are nothing." Alex leaned closer, his voice low and fierce. "You underestimate us. This is our home, and we will fight for it." Just then, an explosion rocked the ship, sending everyone tumbling. The humans quickly scrambled to their feet. The aliens outside were losing control, and their own weaponry was turning against them. "Now's our chance," Mike yelled, grabbing Zorath and pulling him up. "We need to get him out of here before he escapes." The team rushed towards the exit, dragging Zorath with them. The battle raged on outside, but the aliens were starting to panic. The humans had pushed them back, and now the tide was shifting. As they emerged from the ship, the scene before them was chaotic. Alien soldiers were retreating, their confidence shattered. The humans, fueled by adrenaline and a newfound sense of victory, pressed on, determined to reclaim their territory. "Look," Sarah shouted, pointing at the fleeing aliens. "They're breaking ranks!" Zorath struggled in their grip, but Alex held him tight. "You're going to help us end this," he said, his voice firm. "Or we'll make sure you regret it." Zorath glared at him, but could see the determination in the human's eyes. "You think this is over?" he hissed. "You are mistaken." But Alex and his team had made their point. They had shown the aliens that they were not primitive, nor were they helpless. They were willing to fight, and they were winning. The remaining alien forces began to retreat, scrambling back to their ships. The humans cheered, exhilarated by their unexpected victory. "Keep pushing," Alex shouted, rallying his team. "We need to make sure they don't come back." They charged forward, driving the aliens away. Zorath, still in their grip, watched as his forces fled in disarray. His confidence had crumbled, and now he realized how wrong he had been. "Your kind will pay for this," Zorath shouted, his voice trembling with rage. But Alex smiled, knowing that they had turned the tide. "Not if we have anything to say about it," he replied. "This is just the beginning." As the last of the alien ships took off into the night sky, the humans stood tall, filled with pride and newfound hope. They had faced overwhelming odds and had emerged victorious. Together, they had proven that they could stand against any enemy. "Look at what we've done," Mike exclaimed, his face shining with excitement. "We fought back," Alex nodded, taking a deep breath. "This is our home, and we will protect it." The team cheered, celebrating their hard-fought victory. They had shown the aliens that they were anything but primitive. The humans were resilient, clever, and united, and this was just the beginning of their fight. As the night settled around them, they knew that challenges lay ahead. But they were ready. They had fought for their right to exist, and they would continue to fight for their future. Together, they were stronger than ever. The victory celebration echoed through the forest. Laughter and cheers filled the air as Alex and his team stood together, united by their hard-fought win. They had driven the alien forces away, but they knew the battle was only the beginning. The humans had proven their strength, but now they needed to solidify their unity. As the sun rose over the horizon, casting golden rays through the trees, Alex gathered his team for a meeting. They had to discuss their next steps. The mood was high, but the reality of their situation loomed over them. "Listen up, everyone," Alex began, looking each of his friends in the eye. "We did something amazing last night, but we can't get complacent. The aliens will come back. We need to be ready." Sarah nodded, her expression serious. "We need to bring more people into this fight. The more we unite, the stronger we will be." Lisa chimed in. "We should reach out to other human groups. There are more of us out there. If we all come together, we can form a real defense." Alex agreed. "Exactly. We need to gather our strength. But we can't just reach out randomly. We need a plan." Mike raised his hand. "What if we send scouts to find other groups? They can inform people about what's happening and convince them to join us." "That's a good idea," Alex replied. "We can send small teams out to make contact with other survivors. They can share our story and gather support. But we need to be careful. The aliens could still be watching." The team discussed strategies, planning how to approach nearby settlements and communities. Each member contributed ideas, eager to help expand their united front. As they shared their thoughts, a sense of purpose filled the air. After their meeting, Alex took a moment to reflect. The world had changed overnight. The humans had shown incredible resilience, but they could not win this war alone. They needed to reach out, to unite all the survivors, and to create a force that the aliens would fear. With a sense of urgency, Alex called for volunteers to become scouts. Many hands shot up eager to help. They formed small groups, each led by a team member. Alex felt pride swell in his chest. His friends were ready to fight for their future. As the scouts prepared to leave, Alex reminded them, "Stay safe. Communicate as much as possible and don't engage unless absolutely necessary. We need to gather information first." The scouts set off, each group heading in a different direction. Alex watched as they disappeared into the trees, hoping they would find others willing to join their cause. He felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. Would they be successful? Days passed, and the atmosphere in the camp changed. The team was hopeful, but worry crept in. They received no word from the scouts. Each sunset felt heavier without updates, and the silence was deafening. Then, one afternoon, Sarah returned, her face glowing with excitement. "Alex, you won't believe this," she exclaimed, breathless. "We found a group. They're just a few miles away, and they want to meet." Alex's heart raced. "Really? How many?" "About 50 people," Sarah replied, her eyes sparkling. "They've been living in a nearby shelter. They heard about our victory and want to join us. They know about the aliens, and they're ready to fight." The news spread quickly among the team, and excitement bubbled over. "This is amazing!" Lisa shouted, pumping her fist in the air. "We're finally uniting." Alex felt a surge of hope. "When can we meet them?" he asked. "Tomorrow morning," Sarah said. "I'll lead a small group to bring them here. We need to make them feel welcome and let them know they're safe with us." That night, the camp was buzzing with anticipation. The humans gathered around a fire, sharing stories and planning how to welcome their new allies. Laughter mingled with the crackling flames, and for the first time in days, the tension in the air began to lift. The next morning, Alex led the team as they prepared for the new arrivals. They set up a welcoming area, arranging food and supplies for the guests. Everyone worked together, eager to show their unity and strength. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the sound of footsteps approached. Alex stood at the forefront, watching as Sarah led the group of newcomers. They appeared weary but hopeful, their faces showing signs of hardship but also determination. "Welcome," Alex called out, waving his arms. "You're safe here!" The newcomers hesitated, unsure. But as they saw the friendly smiles on the faces of Alex and his team, they slowly stepped forward. Sarah introduced them. This is Alex and the rest of our team. We've fought against the aliens and won. We're building a united front to protect our homes and each other." One of the newcomers, a tall man named David, stepped forward. "We've heard about your victory. We want to join you. We've been struggling to survive, and we believe in what you're doing." Alex nodded, feeling a sense of relief wash over him. "We need your strength and support. Together, we can stand against the aliens." As the two groups mingled, sharing stories and experiences, a bond began to form. They laughed together, shared meals, and discussed their fears and hopes. The weight of loneliness began to lift as they realized they were not alone anymore. Days turned into weeks as more groups joined their cause. Each time, the humans united further, sharing resources, skills, and knowledge. They trained together, learning to fight and defend themselves. Their confidence grew with each passing day. One afternoon, as they practiced drills in the clearing, Alex called for attention. "Listen up, everyone," he shouted. "We've made incredible progress, but we need to plan our next steps. The aliens will not sit idly by. We have to be ready for whatever comes next." The crowd quieted, their eyes fixed on him. "We need to fortify our defenses. We also need to gather intelligence about the aliens. We cannot let them catch us off guard again." Lisa raised her hand. "I suggest we send more scouts. They can gather information about alien movements and their bases. We need to know their plans." "Great idea, Lisa," Alex replied. "Let's form a reconnaissance team. We need to understand how the aliens operate and where they might attack next." The team began organizing. They discussed potential routes, safe places to gather information, and methods for relaying messages back to camp. Everyone contributed, eager to ensure their plan would succeed. That evening, as the sun set, Alex gathered everyone around the fire. "I want to thank each and every one of you. You've shown bravery and strength. We are not just individuals fighting alone anymore. We are a united front, ready to defend our future." Cheers erupted from the crowd, their voices echoing through the trees. "Together!" they shouted, the firelight flickering in their eyes. As the fire crackled, Alex felt a sense of belonging he had not experienced in a long time. They were no longer a scattered group of survivors. They had become a community, bound together by their shared experiences and determination. In the following days, they continued to grow stronger. The newcomers brought valuable skills and resources. Some were builders, while others were farmers or strategists. Together, they constructed a safe haven, fortifying their camp and creating a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos. Alex noticed how the children of the camp laughed and played together, bringing life and joy to their united front. They were a reminder of what they were fighting for: the future, the chance to rebuild, and the hope that humanity could prevail against the aliens. One night, as they sat around the fire, Alex looked around at the faces of his friends and allies. He felt a deep sense of gratitude. They had all come together for a common cause, and it had forged unbreakable bonds. But as they celebrated their unity, a shadow loomed on the horizon. The threat of the aliens was never far from their minds. They had tasted victory, but they knew they must stay vigilant. "Tomorrow we scout again," Alex announced. "We need to keep gathering information. If we know what the aliens are planning, we can prepare ourselves." The team nodded, understanding the importance of staying one step ahead. They were a united front, ready to face any challenge that lay ahead. With the flickering fire as their backdrop, they settled down for the night, hearts filled with hope. They were no longer just survivors. They were warriors, defenders of their homes, and together, they would face whatever came next. The sun rose on a new day, shining brightly over the camp. The sounds of nature filled the air, but in the hearts of the humans, there was a lingering tension. They had worked hard to unite and prepare for the battles ahead, but uncertainty still hung over them. Alex gathered everyone for a morning meeting. As they sat in a large circle, the fire crackling in the center, he noticed the determination on their faces. They were ready to face whatever came next. "Thank you all for being here," Alex began, his voice steady. "We have come a long way since we started this journey together. Now, we have a chance to show the aliens that we are strong. Today, we need to discuss our next steps and how we will earn their respect." A murmur of agreement flowed through the group. Sarah raised her hand. We've trained hard, but the aliens still see us as primitive. We have to show them that we can fight just as fiercely as they can. Exactly, Alex replied. But to earn their respect, we need to do more than just fight. We need to outsmart them. If we can catch them off guard, we will show them that humans are not to be underestimated. Lisa spoke up. We should plan a strategic raid on one of their smaller bases. If we can hit them where it hurts, they will see us as a real threat. David, one of the newcomers, nodded. That's a great idea. We can gather information on their movements and find a weak spot to strike. The element of surprise is key. As the team discussed their plan, excitement began to build. They were no longer just a group of survivors. They were becoming a formidable force. They shared ideas, strategies, and tactics, each person eager to contribute. After hours of planning, they settled on a target. It was a small alien outpost located near the forest's edge, a place where the aliens had been gathering supplies and weapons. Alex felt a sense of determination wash over him. This could be their moment to show the aliens they were not weak. The team prepared for the raid, gathering weapons and supplies. Each member knew their role, and the atmosphere buzzed with energy. As they set off toward the alien outpost, Alex felt a mix of excitement and fear. The sun began to set as they approached the outpost. Shadows stretched across the ground, and the air grew still. Alex led his team through the trees, staying low and silent. They moved as one, a united front ready to strike. As they reached the outpost, they crouched behind a cluster of bushes. The aliens were unaware of their presence, busy moving crates and supplies. Alex signaled for everyone to hold their positions, and his heart raced with anticipation. On my mark, he whispered. 3, 2, 1, go! With that, they charged into the clearing. The element of surprise was on their side. The aliens were taken aback, their eyes wide with shock. The humans moved quickly, taking down the guards before they could react. Now, Alex shouted as they stormed the outpost, adrenaline coursing through their veins. They fought fiercely, displaying their newfound skills and teamwork. Each member of the team knew what to do, and they executed their plan flawlessly. As they battled through the outpost, Alex felt a surge of pride. They were no longer the underdogs. They were fighting back, showing the aliens that humans were strong and capable. But just as they seemed to gain the upper hand, a loud alarm blared throughout the outpost. The aliens were calling for reinforcements. Alex knew they had to act fast. "We need to secure the supplies and get out of here," he yelled. They quickly gathered weapons and crates, loading them onto makeshift carts. The sounds of alien footsteps echoed behind them as they rushed to escape. They could hear the voices of the aliens, shouting and scrambling to regroup. "Keep moving!" Sarah shouted, pushing a cart filled with supplies. They sprinted back into the trees, the sound of their hearts pounding in sync with their footsteps. Just as they thought they were safe, a group of aliens appeared ahead, blocking their path. The aliens looked confused but ready to fight. Alex took a deep breath, realizing this could be a defining moment. "Wait!" Alex shouted, raising his hands in a gesture of peace. The aliens paused, their weapons at the ready but their expressions uncertain. "We don't want to fight you. We want to show you we are more than what you think." One alien, taller than the rest, stepped forward. He looked fierce, but there was something curious in his eyes. "Why should we believe you, human?" he growled. "Because we are not here to destroy you," Alex replied, his voice steady. "We want to prove that humans can fight just as well as any alien. We've taken down your guards and gathered your supplies. We did not come here to be primitive. We came to show you our strength." The alien seemed to consider this, glancing back at his companions. They were confused, their expressions shifting from anger to curiosity. Alex could see the wheels turning in the alien leader's mind. "You have attacked us," the leader said, but his tone was softer now. "Yet you speak of strength. What do you want?" "We want respect," Alex said earnestly. "We want to show you that humans are not weak. We can stand together against a common threat just like you. We believe we can work together." The alien leader looked at Alex with a new intensity. "You fight well," he said slowly, "but respect is earned, not given. If you wish to be respected, you must prove your worth." Alex nodded, understanding the challenge laid before him. "Then let us show you what we can do. We have fought together and we will continue to fight. But we can also help you if you allow us to." The alien leader hesitated. then stepped back, lowering his weapon slightly. "Perhaps we will see what your kind is capable of. You have earned a chance to prove yourselves." With that, the aliens lowered their weapons, allowing the humans to retreat. Alex felt a surge of relief as they made their way back to their camp. They had faced the aliens, and they had gained a small measure of respect. Back at camp, the atmosphere was electric. The team gathered to share their experience, each person buzzing with excitement. They had not only taken supplies, but also challenged the aliens in a way that would change everything. "We did it," Lisa exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with pride. "We showed them that we can fight." "More than that," David added. "We opened a door for communication. They might see us differently now." Alex nodded, feeling a sense of hope. "We have taken a step forward, but this is just the beginning. We need to build on this respect. We must show them we can be allies." As the days passed, the humans focused on strengthening their relationship with the aliens. They sent messages back and forth, slowly building trust. Each encounter brought new challenges, but they persevered. Alex began to meet with the alien leader, learning about their culture and values. It was a delicate dance of diplomacy, but he could sense the respect growing between them. The aliens were beginning to understand that humans were not just primitive beings. They were fierce, intelligent, and capable of great things. One day, during a meeting, the alien leader looked at Alex seriously. "You have shown us your strength," he said. "But can you show us your wisdom as well?" Alex paused, feeling the weight of the question. "We can work together to face common threats. Together, we can protect our worlds and find a way to coexist. The universe is vast, and we must learn from each other." The alien leader nodded thoughtfully. "Very well. We will begin to build an alliance, but understand, trust is earned over time. You must continue to prove yourselves." As they parted ways, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had come so far, and with each step, they were forging a new future. The respect they sought was beginning to materialize, and it filled him with hope. Back at camp, he gathered the team. "We have made progress with the aliens. They are starting to see us as equals. But we must continue to work hard. Our battles are not over yet." The team nodded, their determination unwavering. They were no longer just a group of survivors. They were warriors, allies, and friends. Together, they would fight for their future and earn the respect they deserved. As the sun set over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the camp, Alex felt a sense of unity envelop them. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting for a future, a chance to prove that humanity could stand tall among the stars. With renewed strength, the humans prepared for the challenges ahead. They were ready to show the universe that they were a force to be reckoned with, and they would earn the respect of everyone who underestimated them.